I probably would have moved on from Mary a lot sooner, but Robyn was constantly encouraging that relationship. She told me that I needed to go and sleep on Christine's couch when Christine kicked me out.
Oh God, here comes Robyn. My husband absolutely detests reality TV, but somehow he only finds himself in the same room with me when Sister Wives is on. He claims he's not watching it, though his actions suggest otherwise. This man has a special kind of hatred for Robyn. Back around season 12, he even made me pause the show so we could discuss, in detail, how he's convinced Robyn is Kody's favorite wife and that she's basically his personal cheerleader. So we're watching an episode where Kody starts talking about moving back to Utah from Vegas, and what does Robyn do? She agrees with him, of course. Cue the biggest sigh from him, followed by, oh, here we go. Kody's got his dumbass ideas, and here comes Robyn, just nodding along like she's got nothing better to do than agree with every stupid thing he says. And I just can't stop laughing. This guy, who claims he doesn't care about reality TV, and certainly doesn't watch it with me, has somehow become an expert in spotting the dynamic between Robyn and Kotex. He even told me he's glad everyone else recognizes his wisdom when it comes to hating Robyn. Now, girl, mine does the same thing. He'll start with, damn, this dumbass show again. I ain't sitting through this. And then, guess what? His butt ends up glued to the end of the couch, watching the whole damn thing while ranting about how conniving Robyn is. He wishes one of the OG wives would just slap the shit out of her and Kody. He absolutely lost it during the episode where Mary offered Robyn the legal marriage for the kids to be adopted. But you know, he doesn't watch that sheet. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Christine's been going on and on about getting married, and of course, everyone's complaining. It's annoying, apparently. Well, I have two thoughts about this. Yeah, we've already seen the wedding talk, but now we get to hear what everyone's really feeling about it, especially Truly. You know, because this is the first time she and Christine will be living in a house with a man. David doesn't have other wives to go to, so this is uncharted territory for everyone. But seriously, were they filming this 2 years ago? I've lost track of the timeline at this point. As for why Christine keeps bringing it up, maybe it's because, after all the years of having the rug pulled out from under her, this feels like the real deal. Think about it. She's spent decades living in a world where something always seemed more important than her happiness. So now that she's finally found someone she wants to marry, she's probably terrified of it falling apart at the last second. It's like she has to keep saying it to remind herself that, no, this time is actually happening. Maybe it's just me, but hear me out. Christine is probably just answering a producer's prompt off camera, like, hey Christine, what's going on today? Christine, I'm getting married. Woo! And then they just cut, copy, and paste that clip into every episode 4 times. Easy. Look, I get it. Christine is excited. She's never really gotten the chance to celebrate being married or even tell people about it without worrying about how her sister wives will feel. She deserves this moment. So why does everyone have to keep raining on her parade? Kody's comments about Christine's lack of physical attraction and their relationship dynamics are interesting, to say the least. He outright told Janelle he wasn't attracted to Christine, which isn't exactly a subtle revelation. He even went so far as to say that, when they first got married, he wasn't physically drawn to her. But here's the kicker. Janelle, on the other hand, has repeatedly made it clear that their marriage was never lacking in intimacy. Her relationship with Kody didn't have the same issues that Christine complained about, like the lack of sex and emotional connection. Now, here's the part that really gets me. Why was Kody more attracted to Janelle than Christine? I mean, if you look at Christine, she's lively, animated, and bubbly, qualities that seem to match Kody's own energy. You'd think he'd be drawn to someone who shares his enthusiasm. but apparently not. According to Kody, he viewed Christine as this chubby girl mindlessly scarfing down nachos, which is a pretty harsh judgment. Meanwhile, Janelle, who was also heavier, didn't seem to get that same treatment. So what's the deal? The thing is, Christine's personality might have been a bit too much for Kody. She was outgoing, confident, and clearly took up space, both physically and emotionally. Maybe Kody felt threatened by that, especially when it seemed like her energy was drawing attention away from him. And maybe it's easier for him to put the blame on Christine's weight or attitude than admit that his own behavior contributed to the downfall of their relationship. Janelle, however, wasn't a problem. She didn't demand as much of his time or affection, and, let's be real, was probably easier for him to deal with. Kody thrives on feeling good about himself, and Janelle, in her more passive role, allowed him to feel confident and in control. She wasn't one to rock the boat, which probably made her a more satisfying partner for him in a way that Christine, and certainly Mary, weren't. Janelle didn't complain as much, and because of that, Kody never had to face the uncomfortable truth that he might not be meeting his wife's emotional and physical needs. As Janelle astutely pointed out, Kody tends to attack the things that will hurt people the most. He's definitely not above making low blows to attack weaknesses. That could be why he was so harsh about Christine, because she pushed for more and demanded more from him. When he couldn't satisfy her, it likely made him feel inadequate, so he lashed out. It's a classic case of deflecting his own shortcomings by pointing fingers and blaming others. Theory: why Kody prefers Robyn and Janelle? Because obviously he does. Okay, forgive me if this is painfully obvious, but I haven't seen anyone mention it here recently, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. On the second most recent episode, I think, I binge-watched a bunch, so who knows? Kody and Robyn were on their cute little date and reminiscing about how they met. That's when it finally hit me. Kody met Robyn while she was still married, just like he met Janelle when she was still married. Now, it's been said a million times in this sub, but it seems pretty clear that Kody still wants a romantic relationship with Janelle, despite their split. Totally different from how he treats Christine and Mary, who are clearly out of the picture. Here's my theory. Could it be that Kody feels like he really alpha-ed the relationships with Robyn and Janelle because they were both already taken when he first met them? In Kody's world, he doesn't just date women, he wins them. They chose him over their ex-husbands, or so he thinks, which makes them a prize, something he earned. Meanwhile, the other wives, they didn't require any effort or a challenge. What do you think? They left bad men and chose a good one when they married him. The principle of plural marriage. Isn't it rich that Kody has the audacity to call out Christine, Mary, and Janelle as bad sister wives when, in reality, they're the only ones who actually stuck to the very principle they all agreed to on the day Kody married them? These women sacrificed everything, time, energy, and their own well-being, all to uphold the idea of plural marriage, while Kody? Oh, he couldn't be bothered. The guy kissed Robyn before they were even married, ditched his purity vows long before saying, "I do," and left Mary high and dry for a decade. The hypocrisy is staggering, and let's not forget the bigger picture. This entire religious setup is a twisted system that allows men to exploit women for their bodies, their resources, and their emotional labor. It's vile. Anyone who bought into that polygamy is awesome pitch from the early seasons is being sold a fairy tale. The real story is the women holding the family together, while Kody gallivanted around like an immature child. At some point, he's going to have to face the mountain of damage he's inflicted on his ex-wives and children. I've been in these communities, and the consensus is clear. Kody is nothing short of a religious failure. And honestly, TLC should sue for every penny. The entire premise of their show was to paint polygamy in a positive light. Now, Kody's basically admitting he lied through every season. There were definitely issues from the start, but I truly believe the original 3 wives were sincere in trying to make things work. Kody, a fraud from day one. Okay, I know I'm being ridiculously petty, but I just can't with Robyn's wardrobe. Let's not even start on the hair, though seriously, she was voted the wife who spends the most time on her hair, and, well, let's just say it doesn't show. But the shoes? Oh my god, those old lady shoes. And before anyone gets offended, I'm almost 50 myself, and trust me, there's no universe in which I would wear those. I've been trying to find a decent screenshot of them, but just take a look when she's walking to the new church with the girls. You can't be the perfect trophy wife in shoes like that. The slacks and top? I swear, it's like something my grandma used to wear. Sorry, not sorry. If I had a TV show and all that disposable income, I'd do something smarter with it. Instead of blowing thousands on 2 weirdly intimate bears, a butterfly ship print, or 800 Precious Moments figurines, I drop some cash on a stylist. Seriously, if people are gonna hate me, I might as well look good while they do. And let's talk about that Canada Goose jacket. What's the deal with that? Those things are made for minus 30-degree weather, and she lives in freaking Arizona. Like, I live in New England where it actually gets cold, and I've never needed a jacket that intense. It's $500 plus for a jacket that's more suited to the Arctic than the desert. I get it, she's probably one of those former trailer park types who now thinks wearing every high-end brand will make her seem wealthy, but honestly, it just screams trying way too hard. As for Aurora and Brianna, God bless them, but they've clearly raided Robyn's closet. When the 3 of them were heading to check out the church, they looked like they were on their way to a PTA meeting, where bingo is definitely the highlight of the night. The wives in this situation were stuck in a constant loop of missed opportunities for meaningful connections. It's actually pretty sad to think about how little genuine friendship existed among them, especially when they could have easily built something solid. Robyn, for example, thought she'd just automatically be handed a set of best friends the moment she joined. Mary is naturally sociable, Christine has a friendly demeanor, and Janelle can be warm when she wants to be. All of them had the potential to be friends, especially in the beginning when they were still getting to know one another. But somehow, that never really happened. Honestly, if they treated their relationships like a social club instead of a polygamous family, things might have been different. Picture this: regular events just for the wives, a book club, Bible study, scrapbooking nights, or maybe a game of bunco. Something to get to know each other as people, not just as co-wives. They needed to step out of the competition and really bond as individuals. But here's the kicker: Kody probably liked it this way. The tension between the wives kept them distracted, kept them from comparing notes or, heaven forbid, having actual conversations about what was going on. He was happy to keep them at odds because, in his mind, they were easier to control if they weren't on the same page. Let's face it though, sharing one guy between 4 women was always going to be a recipe for disaster. It's totally natural for this kind of setup to lead to friction. Most people can't stand the idea of sharing their spouse with even one other person, let alone 3. They were set up to fail from the start. I'm rewatching the episode where Ysabel's surgery is happening, and I just can't get over how Kody genuinely thought it was okay to leave her in pain for 6 months or more, just so he could tag along with everyone else. Like, really? He pulls these rules out of nowhere, and then expects Christine to just bend over backwards to accommodate them. And then, when she finally chooses her daughter's well-being over his random, made-up rules, he blames her? The audacity! I'm literally yelling at my TV like my husband during an NASCAR race. Honestly, I totally get what you're saying. Kody's acting like these arbitrary rules are some unbreakable law that he absolutely has to follow. But in the talking heads, he's over there acting like there's just no way he could possibly go. It honestly makes me think these so-called rules weren't even his to begin with. They probably came from Robyn. Wow, this episode was a doozy. Kody has finally shown his true colors when it comes to Robyn. Well, at least more than usual. It's honestly shocking to see him put up a boundary with her, especially when it comes to her asking him to work things out with the others. He's been so quick to blame her for all their problems, even in the confessionals. But hey, at least he's not completely going after the OG wives, yet. And can we talk about how awkward this entire conversation was? The editing was a mess. Seriously, someone pointed out the weird cuts and long, uncomfortable silences, and I can't unsee it. I mean, who even chose to add that crow cawing in the distant sound? It was like they were trying to amplify the tension, but it just made everything even more cringy. But wait, did they seriously leave before the sun even set? I thought the whole point was that they were going to have this deep, romantic moment, watching the sun dip below the valley. Talk about missing the mark. Now, let's talk about Robyn. She's truly a reality TV villain for the ages. Kody is sitting there, thinking he's the hero, like, look at me, darling, I've pushed everyone away just for you. You'll never have to deal with them again. I did it all for you, my precious soulmate. He's so convinced he's orchestrated the ultimate love story, but Robyn, she's not even bothering to look him in the eye. She's fiddling with her hair, looking mildly annoyed, and then she hits him with the old "I'm confused" routine. It's honestly hilarious. Kody is now stuck in the ultimate trap. He thought he'd have this grand moment of triumph, but instead, Robyn is going to forever guilt-trip him for ruining her polygamy dreams. Instead of riding off into the sunset with his model-esque damsel in distress, he's probably going to end up one of those sad old men you see sitting on benches at the mall, holding his wife's purse while she shops. Karma has never been sweeter. This is a chef's kiss moment for Mr. Patriarchy. The perfect ending for a man who thought he had it all figured out. Is Robyn enough? Honestly, I don't think so. Christine Brown was the true heart and soul of the Brown family, and it's obvious her departure left a massive hole, especially for Janelle's kids. They've been hit hardest by it. So now, Kody has his precious Robyn all to himself. But is he really happy? Because let's be honest, he looks miserable. I'm starting to wonder if he was actually happiest when he had all 4 wives, when he had the full package. Maybe, just maybe, he's realizing that life with just Robyn isn't all it's cracked up to be. Was that his grand plan all along? I have a hard time believing it. I think Kody might have taken all that affection and validation from the 3 other wives for granted. Robyn was the shiny new toy, novel, exciting, and a little bit of a distraction. He probably thought she'd be everything he needed and more. But what he didn't realize is that her full package might have been more of a side dish than the main course. When he had all 4 wives, it's like his life was a full meal, and Robyn was just the sprinkles on top. She added flavor, but she wasn't the substance. Now, Kody's realizing that he's been so focused on the newness of Robyn that he missed how much the other women contributed to his life in ways he clearly never understood. At the end of the day, Kody seems like a textbook narcissist, and Robyn, she might be the better side dish, but I'm not so sure she's the entree he thought he was getting. And let's not forget, I don't think his grand plan was ever to end up alone with Robyn. In my opinion, Kody orchestrated things to make Mary look like the villain, ensuring he could keep control of the remaining 3 wives. When Christine left, he was blindsided. When Janelle followed, he was devastated. Now, he's watching Robyn with suspicion, waiting for her to be the next one to bolt. The goal wasn't monogamy, it was always about control. Oh, Kody and his midlife. I was watching an episode from season 19 last night, and there he was, dramatically saying, 5 years ago, I was reflecting on being halfway through my life. Halfway through? Really? The average life expectancy for a man in the US is 74. So by the time he was 50, and now 55, he was well past the halfway point. His midlife crisis should have hit him around 37. Or maybe it did, And what we're seeing now is just the endless aftermath of it. Could explain a lot, honestly. Absolutely, let's break down this gem of a situation. Remember during that season 17, one-on-one with Suki, when Robyn made that very subtle comment about how her other wives rejected him affection-wise. She basically came out and said they weren't comfortable with certain things, and that they just didn't like it. Well, she wasn't exactly talking about playing board games together, was she? No, this was clearly a very veiled reference to their sex life. Because seriously, what else would rejected him affection-wise mean between a husband and wife? It's not like she's talking about not holding hands during dinner. And then there's Robyn's approach to her own marriage, treating her husband like he's the best customer she's ever had, as if he's paying for her attention or affection. Yeah, that's the vibe she's giving off, and it's charming, isn't it? But what really makes this situation even more cringeworthy is the message she's sending to her adult daughters. I can't even imagine what kind of toxic views about relationships and sex she's passing down to them. And don't even get me started on how she's isolating them from their older siblings. Aspen or Maddie aren't even options for advice anymore. She's creating this bubble where they're stuck with her skewed perspective. Robyn's approach to women and relationships, it's like she's trying to drag us all back about 200 years. Bravo, Robyn. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.